The Deadlock rumor mill has been absolutely swirling. I have heard different things about big changes coming in the update, conflicting reports about release date, everywhere in between. But today I've got a really exciting exclusive scoop again about some really interesting changes coming to the patrons that I think everyone's going to be pretty stoked about. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and like I said, I've popped on a Metro stream earlier, and he's like, patch next week. I've heard some other folks talk about some very different timelines, so I want to kind of add in some of my own 2 cents into that equation really quick, and then also get into, like I said, an exclusive leak that we've got covering here in the channel. Let's get right into it. All right, so we've got another exclusive piece of news coming from here at Dead Unlocked. Really excited to be covering this. Before I do, I'll kind of quickly outline that this piece of information comes from a source that I have covered in the past. I feel good about covering this, but I don't have anything to show on screen. I always really hate covering stuff that I can't throw an image up on screen to kind of talk about it, but nevertheless, this felt big enough that I still want to go ahead and talk about it. This is going to be super, super cool. Let's get right into it. So this leak has to do with the patrons and the bases specifically. So to kind of catch everyone up, so several months ago, there was an image of the base leaked on the test server that it was completely overhauled. I'll throw it on screen. We have since learned that this has kind of been a work in progress over the last several months, that the devs have continued to change and iterate on. And even recently, we talked about how this could even be an asymmetry at play here, how the Amber Hand and the Sapphire Flame look different on each side of the map. It looks like this is actually going to be true, and maybe even more than we realized. So I can kind of confirm from my source that we are going to be getting new patron names and voices. One side is going to be a female character, I think on the Sapphire side, and she is called the Archmother, has a really cool sounding voice as well. On the other side, though, we're getting a male voice for the Amber Hand, and this is actually a voice actor that a lot of you are definitely going to recognize. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but to give you all a hint, this is a voice actor from a really famous childhood cartoon and has a voice that you all are definitely going to recognize. Honestly, it was crazy to hear this, so I'm super, super stoked for you all to hear this one. But so yeah, to catch up, it looks like, according to my source at least, we can report here first that the bases are going to be probably asymmetrical in design, but certainly asymmetrical in terms of how the patrons are voiced and how they look. I'm very, very excited to see how this looks in game. Like I said, I really wish I could show something on screen, but that is kind of our Dead Unlocked exclusive scoop here. Female patron called the Archmother on the Sapphire side, I believe, and then a male patron with a really, really famous voice actor. I won't spoil that one. Like I said, I want to leave some surprise when we cover leaks here. I still really believe in kind of the glee and the joy when you first boot up an update and you have no idea what to expect. So want to leave some things on the table, but yeah, very, very excited for these to hit the live server in the January update. And before we move on to the video, just a quick addendum to that. There have been a ton of changes from what I have heard, at least, going on in the test server right now. So everything that we just laid out there is still very work in progress. There's always a chance that this stuff has changed. But when we talk about something like a voice actor being added for a patron or a character, I really don't feel like that's something you would change after deploying it, because people are going to have a certain association with hearing that or seeing it. That being said, it's Valve, it's Deadlock, things could change at a drastic level at any time. So absolutely, just keep that in mind, take it with a grain of salt. Nonetheless, though, still very, very excited for what I'm seeing and hearing about the new patrons. But let's talk about some other rumors that I've heard and some really substantial ones that I kind of want to get into here. All right, now with kind of the official, real substantiated news out of the way, I do want to talk about like some pretty legitimate rumors that I've heard about Deadlock's release and about this kind of next update. So first off, I was on Metro stream earlier, and he was like, patch this week or patch next week for sure. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have heard a lot of rumors kind of in the other direction, that it's actually going to be closer to the end of the month because some major changes could still be happening within the server related to heroes that we've leaked and some other things. And also because of the stakes of this update. So I talked about it in a previous video, and I want to bring it back up here. I have heard some really legitimate rumors that Deadlock is going to be releasing in this update. So we can call that an open beta, we can call it whatever we might want to call it, a Deadlock 1.0 or whatever, but just that Deadlock is going to be available to the larger player base in this next update. Again, this is still in that rumor status, I would call it. That's why I always feel like I have to put a certain caveat on claims like that, because it's such a major claim because of what it means for the development of the game. But when we pair together all the things we've been hearing, it feels like we just have to continue to have this conversation about Deadlock's potential release. So, like I said, I've heard so many rumors in all kinds of different directions about the release of the patch, what the patch actually is, what it means, current hero remodels. There's a lot more that we're going to get into later in the week as I am able to get more information. But for now, I just kind of want to lay it out there. There have been rumors all over the place in terms of the release date, so we really don't know much about when this patch is going to come out at the given time. Yoshi has said that they're still working on it, that they're really hoping for January, but we've heard kind of hopes of release dates in the past for previous patches, and they've almost always come later than expected. So we're kind of already in that phase because this was expected in December, and now we're in January. I think there's a small chance it actually gets pushed all the way to February if they really start to make some of these larger changes that I'm hearing about. But for the most part, I think we can expect a mid to late January patch. And then in terms of the release, I actually personally really think this could be the open beta for the game. I'm one of those people, though, that thought the open beta was coming in the summer or in quarter 4 of 2025 as well. So trust me, I've been wrong before here on the channel, but this one really does feel a little bit different. And based on some of the things I've heard, I don't know. This is one that we at least have to, certainly beg the question, could Deadlock be coming out in January? I think it really could be the case. But that is just a rumor at the end of the day. Nothing substantiated, no official report of that so far. At the end of the day, though, I'd love to hear more in the comments about you all's guess of who the male voice actor is for the new Patron, and what you all think of when this update's going to release. And is this going to be Deadlock 1.0, open beta, full release, whatever you want to call it? Definitely let me know in the comments. I also want to just take a second, to kind of thank developers for all the hard work on the game in this last year. I think I talked about it a little bit in a previous video as well, but getting a Christmas update, getting fireworks in the game, and now seeing, hearing about all of this potential stuff going on, it's just very clear that this developer team has a real passion for this game and a real love for it, and they want to make this game the best thing it can be. And so I'm very grateful for that. I'm sure developers, you hate that we talk about leaks on the channel here if you're watching these videos, but just know from the community perspective, it's really awesome to be able to kind of track and see some of these little changes happening in the test server. It's like a fun little guessing game for us as a community. So that's really the heart of why I make my videos so often. It's not to spoil things, not to ruin the surprise or ruin the party, just to keep the community excited and stoked when it's been kind of a while since we've had an update. So anyway, I just wanted to make that quick caveat at the end of the video. It's no hate, it's all love from us here at the channel, but just anyway, wanted to say that. So stay tuned this week. I'm anticipating there's going to be even more news rolling out based on some things that I've even seen while recording this video. So there's probably going to be some more news and leaks later in the week. I'm also a big fan of New Year's resolutions, and I always set goals for myself personally. It's a really just a fun, one of my favorite times of the year is the new year, just kind of this kind of reset feeling. So I may do kind of a similar thing for Deadlock and do like my 2026 New Year's resolutions for Deadlock. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Both those videos should be coming out later this week. I really want the channel overall to kind of level up in 2026. I want to increase our content output, our quality. So as you all are watching my videos, I would love any feedback on how to make them better, more suitable to my audience. So I want to make this the best channel it can be, genuinely. So please help me to do that. On that note as well, if you all want to like and subscribe, that helps the channel. Any way you'd like to support, just watching a video, commenting, whatever it may be, I'm always really appreciative for all of that. So thank you all so much for everyone who's done so far. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in, as always. And from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time, probably very soon, here at Dead Unlocked.